Okay. So today I'm going to explain ALV creation. I'm going to create a ALV report using a class. So till now we have seen reuse ALV grid display, and also we have seen some classes like CLGUI custom container and CLGUI ALV grid. So using those classes and function models, we created output in the form of ALV report. So now there is one more way to create a ALV report in the form of, to display the data in the form of ALV report using this class, CLSALV table. So let's see. So this class is used to display the data in the form of ALV report. This class, CLSALV table. And if you have observed, let me go to the system. So this is a program which we have used to display the data using this container and grid in the object-oriented app. Suppose if I execute, so if you see the output is showing like it is not displaying the full screen. It is started somewhere else. It is not started from the beginning, right? So this is object-oriented ALV, which I have used classes for the container and ALV grid. Now, let me open one more session and so now so here we have used a function module in the core app to display the data in the form of ALV format. We have used a function module reuse ALV grid display. And if you see, this output is displaying the full screen. It is started from the beginning and it is ended at the last. So this output is displaying the full screen, which we have used reuse ALV grid display function module. And if I go to yesterday's program, see the output, it is displaying like half, or you can see it has started somewhere. It is not displaying the full screen, right? So if user want to see full screen ALV format, then we can go with that. Or if user want to see, depends on the requirement. If they give the size, then we can use this grid and container. Now instead of creating, suppose if I want to create a grid format, I have suppose if user want to see output uh, at specified grid. It can be like they have given the size, length and width they have given. So if they want to see in between that length and grid width, I have to use this program, right? Like I have to use this class and this class to create the container and grid. But if you see, this is separate class and this is a separate class. Here I have to use field cat. And if user want to see, suppose ALV format in the full screen, I have to use this function model. If I go back, here I have used this function module, right? So we have different ways are there to display the data in the form of ALV. Either we can use function module or either we can use these classes. But instead of having multiple things, what SAP did, they added everything together in a simple class. So this container and grid, and also if user want to see the data in the full screen, we are using this function module reuse ALV grid display. So these all combined in a single class, that is CLSLV table. So whenever we want to display full screen data, we can use this class instead of using the use ALV grid display function module. Suppose if user want to see LV report in a specified grid format, then we can use this class, because in this class also we have inbuilt container so that we can able to use this class. So either full screen or the specified screen, we can able to use the same class. So instead of using multiple function modules and classes, we can use a single class. So this is an idea of CLSLV table. So it acts as an interface, because see within this class only there is an inbuilt functionality of reuse ALV grid display, and also CLGO grid class also existed within the same class. So everything has done within this class only. So generally we used to say it act as an interface to display the data in the form of ALV. So let's see how to create ALV format using this class. So same scenario, just let me go to this program. So same scenario we will use. Instead of using this class, just we need to replace CLSLV table. So fetching the data same, declaration also same, just we have to change this logic. Here instead of using this object and this method set table for first display, we are using this class CLSLV table. So let me create a new program. Mm, 6, 11, 20, 25. Factory method. So this we call it as a factory method. So with the help of factory method, we can able to display the data in the form of ALV. Display data using ALV format. Display ALV using factory method. Now select the type as executable program, save in your package, and select TR. So here, so first I need so the requirement is user will enter sales order numbers, a range of sales order number like low to high, and based on the sales order number, user want to see sales order number, item number, material, and item category in the output screen in the form of grid. Okay, so for that, first I need select option. So let me not this this one. So from here onwards, I will take few things like select option and structure. So now input is ready and I created structure because user want to see these 4 fields data. So after fetching these data from the database table, we have to store on the application layer in an internal table. So I have to declare internal table also. If I take this, so internal table. Now internal table also ready. So we have input screen and we have internal table and work area to store the data. Now this time we have to fetch the data from the database table. So to fetch the data, we need select query. So let me take select query. So after fetching these 4 fields data from the database table VAP, it is storing in this internal table based on our input. So let me pass select option. Go to text element, selection text here, sales document number. So here, now the data is existed in this internal table. So to display this data in the form of ALV report, whenever we have used function module, we have written field cat properties and we call this function module. We use ALV grid display. Suppose if it is object oriented ALV, then we have used field cat properties, either manual creation or else we have used a function module. Then we have called this method set table for first display, right? So instead of using these many steps, this CLSLV table has a simple property. No need to write any field cat. Like whenever we use core ALV or object oriented ALV, we have written field cat. But when it comes to CLSLV table, no need to write any field cat. Directly we can call this method. Directly we can call this. In this class, we have a method called factory method. So first we need to get the object of the class, then we can use display method. So the first step is we have to get the instance of ALV table object, meaning in this class we have a method called factory method. So by calling factory method, we will get an object. So with the help of the object, we can call display method. So these are the two steps we have to follow. So let's go to the program. And here, before writing the logic, let me open SC24 transaction code. So here we'll see the class CLSLV table, the method which I mentioned just now. So CLSLV table. So this is a class. If I click on display, so we have a method called factory. So this is a method. So with the help of this method, we will get new instance of ALV table object, meaning instance is nothing but object. If you remember the definition of the object, it is an instance of a class. Object is nothing but instance of a class. So with the help of this method, we will get an object. So when we get the object, we can able to access the properties of the class. So here, whenever we use classes in object-oriented web app, mainly we use methods and objects. To access the properties of the class, we need object. So once we get the object, we can call the method, right? So here, with the help of this class, we can get the object. So which object we will get? The object which can access the properties to display the data in the form of ALV. So how we will get the object? By calling this method. So what is the name of the method here? Factory. So once we get the object, we can access the properties of other class. So this is a main class which is having all the properties. Like whenever we want to change the field names or like field labels, or whenever you want to change the position of the fields. So everything we will get with the help of this class only. So you can think that this is a main class. From this class, we will get the object. Then with the help of that object, we can access other class properties, depends on the requirement. Excuse me. So first we'll get the object of display method. So for that, we have to call this method. So this method is a level of static method. Have you remember how to call static method?
By using class name.
Yes, by using class name. So go to pattern and here choose ABAP object patterns, and here, so no need to select instance because this method is where is that? So this method is a static method. So static method, we don't need to create any object. We can call with the help of class name only. So here the class name is nothing but this one, CLSLV table. So copy this, and in the class field you can give the class name and method name. So you can choose F for help. We have to call factory method. Double click on it. Now after that, press enter. So now we have called the factory method. Better to uncomment this try, catch, and try. So this is like a exception. Like whenever we have used function modules or CLGUI, custom container, CAGL, GUI, LV grid. At the time we have uncommented the exception, right? So this is like an exception. To avoid runtime errors, we can uncomment this try, catch, and try block. So this is used to avoid the runtime errors. So it acts as a block, try, catch, and try. Now, this is a mandatory parameter changing that is t table. By default, it has enabled. Now, here there is a importing parameter. So the import parameter is here RSLV table. This we need to enable it. Before passing the parameter value, first we have to check what is the type of this parameter. So to do that, just you can double click on the method name. It will navigate. So here you can see the signature. We need our SLV table. So what is this type? See, type ref2 CL SLV table. So have you do you have any idea what is mean by type ref2 CL SLV table? Like what we need to pass the
Object
parameter
creation
value?
syntax.
Yes, so whenever we create an object, we have used the same syntax. Type ref to class name. And here also, if you see, the type is type ref to CLSLV table, meaning we have to create an object of this class. And that object we need to pass to the parameter where our SLV table is there. So earlier, till this class, we have passed internal tables, work areas, even variables. But for the first time, we are creating an object and we are passing object to the parameter. So always remember where there is a statement called type ref2 is there. So meaning you have to create an object. So just to copy this one and click back, scroll up here. You can write in the same data or else you can use a new one. So here let me take this is for the factory, right? Or it is okay. Let me take elbow obj type. I don't write type. Just now I copied it, so I'll paste it here. So now I created an object which is the type ref2 of this class. So where I got this statement in this method, because to pass this parameter value, I have to define the same data type which they have defined in this method. So just double click on it before you are passing the parameter value. Um, Click S. So if you see RSLV table, I want to pass the parameter value. So what is the type of this one? Type ref to CLSLV table, meaning we have to create an object and that object we have to pass to this parameter. So I have created this object which is the type of this one and I have to pass it here which I created LOOBJ. Now this is a mandatory parameter. So let's see what is this type. T table is there. So again double click on the method name. T table. What is the table? So here type table is there, meaning wherever your data is there, that table you have to pass to this parameter. Meaning in our program, after fetching the data from the database table, where we are passing in this internal table, right? So this internal table has the data. So this one only we have to display it. So we have to pass this internal table to this parameter because our data is existed in this parameter only. Those we have to display in the form of ALV. So here you have to pass ITVBAP. Now here we got an object. So by using factory method, we got an object. So how we got an object? Because we have defined the same type of this one. So once we got the object, we can use a display method. So if I go to this, let me show you. See, there is a method called display. So with the help of display method, what we are doing, we are able to display the output of the table. But you might get a doubt, like directly can we call this method instead of factory method? How can you call? See, here we are getting the output of the table, but before that you have to pass what is your internal table data, right? So that internal table data, how we will pass to the display method? Here we don't have a provision to pass the internal table for display method. Let me show you that so that you will get an understand. So again click on pattern, and now we have an object. So object is LOOBJ. LOOBJ. So same class, but now the method is display. Choose F for help. Hmm, it is this one. So you can see here display. So now you see when I call this display method, do you have an option to give internal table? No. If you see, you don't have an option to give internal table. So that is the reason. First, we have to call factory method, and with the help of factory method, we will get an object. So once we get an object of this class, we can able to call the display method. And with the help of factory method, we can pass our final internal table or the data a table which has the data. So once we pass it, we can call the display method. So let's save, check, activate, and let me execute once. Now see the output. We got 4 columns details, right? So if you see the logic, how minimal it is, just the declarations and set query. After that, I call this class. If I go to core abap, I want to search field cat one. Mm, this is not that one. Just I want to show you the comparison between these two. Let's see. Mhm. I believe this one. If you see, this is a program. Here also we are displaying the data in the form of ALV, but here we have used the function module. So for that function module, we have written the set query, and after that field cat. Suppose if I have 15 fields, I have to write for each field 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one field we have to write 6 lines of code. Suppose if I want to display 15 fields, so 15 6 are. So that many lines of code I need to write only for field cat. Again, after that, I need to call this function module, right? Instead of writing this much lengthy logic, I can use simply mm, this class. See how minimal the code? Even though here we are not giving any field cat, how the system is recognizing for this ALV? Because here we are giving the structure, right? So for this structure, each field having data element. If I double click on this one, so in this table, this is a field. Every field is having data element. Suppose if I double click on the data element, see, every data element will be having field label. So these field labels only we are seeing in the output. We are not writing anything manually, field cat. So SAP already written the logic, and that is an inbuilt functionality in the class CL SLV table. So that is the reason we are not writing any field cat. It will take directly from the data element. So, so this is a factory method. Now here, if you see the output, it is displaying the full screen, right? Meaning here we have used the function module reuse ALV grid display. So backend SAP has used a function module for this class. Suppose user want to see the data in a like they don't want to see in the full screen. They want to see in the half screen, or you can say like a pop-up screen. So for that, I need a container. Even for the container, we no need to call separately CLGUI, LV grid, and the container class. If you see here, there is a parameter called container name. Just we can enable this parameter and we can pass the parameter value. So that we'll see now. Mm, let me copy this one. I will comment this and I will write it. Okay. Or else let's do one thing. We'll write in a separate program. So same data, just instead of using the complete screen, I will use a small screen. So instead of this one, here I will enable this. This one, our container. This is a parameter which we have to pass. So before passing this parameter, first we need to enable exporting. Now here I can enable our container. So to know which parameter value we have to pass to this container or this parameter, double click on the method name again and our container. So our container, what is a type? Type ref to CLGUI container. So if you remember in yesterday's class also we have used um, CLGUI custom container. So this is a super class. Under this super class only we have CLGUI container. So we can use this class or that class. Suppose let me copy this statement from here. So these two are comes under same category. So you can declare like CLGUI container or CLGUI custom container. Anything is fine. So let me write it here. So now elbow cunt. So that one I have to pass it here. Before we pass, so before we pass this one, we have to create this object because it is a container. We have to create container in the program level and the screen level. If you remember in yesterday's class, I have created object in the program level. Like I created the object. If I scroll down, see, I created this object, and also screen element also I have created custom control. If you remember, we have called the screen 100 in the 100 screen layout. I have created the custom control. So same steps we'll do here also. So let me go to this program now. So before calling this method, I will create an object. So before we are passing this object, we have to create an object here for the container. So to create an object, we have a statement create object. Object name is LO cunt and press control spacebar. Here we have to pass container name. So the container name is, suppose if I pass CONT, so the same name I have to pass in the screen level also. So whenever we call the screen number, in the screen number, we are selecting a element called custom control. So for that element also, we have to give the same name to create the link between this program and the screen element. And uncomment the exceptions. So now we have passed this container name here, right? If you want to pass container name here, here also we can pass it. Let me, so we have created an object for the container, and there is one more step, that is we have to create a screen element, that is custom control. So that one I will create it here after display method. So to create a screen element, we have to call the screen number, suppose 100, and double click on the screen number to create it. Save it. Suppose let me write screen 1, and I'll go to layout. This one, custom control. Drag and drop, double click on it, give the name. So here the name you have to pass the same name as the name which you have given in the object creation. So I gave cont, same name I have passed here. Once it is done, save it, activate it. So the same steps we did, if you remember in yesterday's class also, we did the same steps. First we create an object for the container. Then here, instead of these steps, like we have created object for the grid, and we created the link between object and container, but these steps we are not writing directly, we are calling the screen, because those are the inbuilt functionality in this class. So let's see, activate it, execute this one. Now see, it is not displaying the full screen, so we are displaying this one with the help of container. So instead of writing lengthy logic, just simple steps we have written. Just we create an object with the help of class methods, and we called different class methods to get the properties. Suppose if you see, when I click on back, it is not going to the back screen, because this is a screen which I have created 100. And whenever we are creating the screen, we have to write the logic to enable these buttons. So that logic we have to write under PI event. So let me double click on this one, because whenever user click on back button, it should leave to the previous screen. So here user is performing an action, like user is clicking this button. So click is nothing but it is an action. So action related logic we have to write under PI event. So uncomment it, double click on it, and you can write new include program or master program. Here we can write case. So system variable is say that is SciUcom. Whenever user click on back, it should leave to screen 0, because I have created only one screen, that is 100. So 100 before there is no screen. So no screen in the sense it is 0. So it will go to the main program, or it will go to the SAP easy access screen. So case must be closed by end case. If you want to print any title, you can write under the PBO event. I'm not writing anything because we already know the steps. So whenever you are practicing, you can enable it and you can write it. Activate the program and execute once. 2, 10. So if I click back, it is going to the back button. So this way, we can achieve either full screen of ALV report or the using container with the help of this class CLSLV table. So the advantage is it will reduce our code. Instead of like here, we are not using any field cat. So it will reduce our code. But the only disadvantage is we cannot do any editable things using this class output. Suppose I have written the logic using this class, right? So this output, whatever we are getting the output, this one is not editable mode. Not editable mode means you cannot have any interactive report for this output. So you cannot interact with this one. So that is the only limitation with this class. So when we go for this class in the real time, suppose user only want to see the output. There is no maintenance. User want to see only the display purpose, any output. So at that time, instead of going for use LV grid display function module and this container logic, we can use this function. Oh, sorry, we can use this class. So it is very simple to write the logic. So whenever user want to see only the data in the form of display mode, there is no editable mode. So at that time, instead of loop statement, we can use this class. Always remember, in real time, 90% we don't write loop statement to display the logic. To display the logic, we use mainly this class only, this one. So we already know loop statement performance wise, the program will be very slow. So whenever we want to display something, there is no editable thing, then we can use this class instead of using loop statement. If you remember in the previous sessions, like to display header data, item data, or whatever data we want to display, we have used simple loop statement till ALV report. So after started ALV report, we are using the function modules and classes. But in real time, like they won't tell to us you need to use this function module or you need to use this class to display the data. We have to uh, understand the requirement, then we have to use that. If it is a display functionality, just if user want to see the output in the display mode, we can go with this class instead of using loop statement. So no one will tell to us use this thing or that thing. We have to analyze it after seeing the requirement. Suppose if you want to see the full screen, then you can use the previous logic, which I did not enable the container. Suppose if user want to see the data not in the full screen, then you can use this container option in this class. Whenever user want to see any editable things, then only you can go with the reusable grid function module, or else if it is a container, if they need, we can use this class. Until that, we can use this class only to display the data instead of loop statement. Again, I'm telling instead of loop statement. So whenever you are practicing the previous programs, before classical interactive report in the core app, whatever the programs you have created, the same program, write the logic, remove the loop statement, and use this class and display the logic. So practice in such a way. Um, Let me go back. Okay, let me show you one thing. So here, this is an output using CLSLV table for container. And this here we are using reuse LV grid display function module to display the data. Let's see this output. Okay. Mm, I need one more. So this output also will see. So here, mm, this one, what I used. So this is also for grid. Let me take today's program, this one. So in this program, I have used this class, but not for container. I will, here I am displaying in the complete screen. So if I execute this one, so look at this output, which I have created today. It is displaying the full screen. And look at this output. Here I have used the function module reuse LV grid display. So imagine that we don't have now. So did you find any difference between this output and today's program output? This is today's program output using factory method, and this is the output using function module. Did you find any difference between these two outputs? Observe it now. Have you find any difference?
Yeah.
So what did you notice?
If you want
Yeah, come again.
options at the menu box, right?
Yes. So here function keys are not visible. If you see, this factory method doesn't have any function keys. But if I use reuse LV function module, by default, all the function keys are enabled. So whenever we are using CLSLV table, we have to enable it. Like whenever we display output, it will display the content. That's it. It won't enable any function keys on the application toolbar. So we have to enable it. So to enable them, again we have to use the classes and methods only. So before that, let me show you this one. Hmm, here also, let's go to the yesterday's program for the container. So okay, let it be even for the container. So whenever I have used CLGA container and ALV grid, if you see, there are some buttons. But whenever I have used CLSLV table, here there is no buttons or function keys here, even for the container, or even it is a full screen. So we have to enable it. So to enable them, let me close this all. Okay, let it be. So we are using this class, right? So let me go to this class. In this class, we have a method to get the object of functions. Suppose if I search functions. So if you see, there is a method to get the functions. So this method, what it will return? It will return the object. So this object we use to get the functions. Once we get the object for the functions, we can access the properties of the class. So CLSLV table, we have a method to get the functions of the next class. Suppose this class doesn't have any method to access, any method to enable the functions. So, but it has a method to get the object of the function. So as I told you, it acts as an interface. So from this class, I can go to another class. So to go to another class, I need a link between this class and that class. So the link is object. So with the help of object, I can access the properties of other class methods. So to get the other class methods object, first other class methods, first I need object of other class. So how I will get the object of other class? Using this method from this class. So let me explain once again. So this is the main class CLSLV table. In this class, there is no method to enable directly the function keys, but there is a method to get the function keys of the object. So once we get the object, I can go to another class and I can access the properties of that class to enable the function keys. So to go to another class, this is the main class. So it acts as an interface. I cannot access directly another class object, sorry, another class method. So to access another class methods, first I need to get the object. So to get the object, I need to call this method. So first I will get the object of the class, then I can access the properties of the class. So to do that, we have to call this method. So this method is get functions. If I let me show you, if I double click on it, see type ref2 is there. So type ref2 is nothing but here we will get an object with the help of this parameter, and it is referring to this class CLSLV functions list. See, look at the class. This is a different class. So in this class, we have a method to enable the function keys. So we have a method that is set all or set default. Set default. Spelling mistake, I believe. Set all. So see, this is a method which will return all the ALV functions will be activated. Suppose if you want to activate all the buttons, we use this method. Suppose if you want to activate only default buttons, then we have one more method, that is set default. This one. So with the help of this method, we can activate only default function. Suppose if user want to see all the function keys, we can use set all. Suppose if user want to see only default buttons or function keys, we can use this method. So where these two methods are existed in this class CLSALV functions list. How we will access this class properties? Using an object, right? So directly I cannot create like object type ref2 like this, because there is a link. So the link is from this class CLSLV table. If you see the title bar, what is the name of the title bar? CLSLV table. From this table, we have a method called get functions. So with the help of this method, I will get the object of CLSLV functions list. So in this class, we have methods to enable the function keys. So this is a root map. So to get this class methods, first I need object. So how I will get the object of this class? By calling this method get functions. So whenever I call get functions method, here I will get a object, because this parameter will return the object. So once I get the object, I can access all the properties of this class. So once I can get the object, I can call the methods which are inside of this class. So that is an idea of factory method. So let me go back. So get functions is a method which returns the object for the functions. So let me go back. Oh, I'll go to the program. So in the full screen one I'm doing, so you can, whenever you are practicing, you can enable the function keys in the full screen, display functionality and container. Okay, both you can practice it. Both functionality will be same only. So I will explain this one. So before displaying the data, it should enable all the function keys. So I have to write the logic before calling the method of display. So here, let me write get functions. So to get the functions, we have to click on pattern, because I need to call the method. So how can I call the method? Okay, what is that method level? We have to see. Get functions, where are you? Get functions. So let's see, get functions. Mm, mm, this one. So this method level is instance method. If it is instance method, we can call with the help of object. So already we have created an object for this class CLSLV table, that is LOOBJ. So we can give LOOBJ here, and class name is CLSLV table. Method name is get functions. So you can find it here. Here, get functions. So here we have to pass the parameter value. So before we are passing, first we have to know what is this parameter type. So double click on the method name and see value type ref2. So meaning it returns a value which type of object, because type ref2 is there. Type ref2 is nothing but object. So whenever we call this method, it has only receiving parameter here, value is there, means it will return a object. So I have to define it. Let me write lv functions. Okay, let me write complete, and which I copied, I will paste it here. So now we have created an object of this type. So this type where I got in this method. Now I can pass it here, LO functions. So now I got an object here, right? Whenever we call this method, this object will be created. So once object will be created, we can call or we can access all the properties of this class, because this class only we have the methods which are used to enable the function keys. If I double click on this class, mm, if I scroll down, see set all and set default methods are there. So with the help of these two methods, enable the function keys. So first we use set default. Okay, so where it is existed in this class. So to access this class properties, what we need an object. So object is also created. Now we can able to call the methods. So here before display the logic, we can call it. Mm, Before that, let me copy the class name. So pattern, abap object pattern. Now we have to change the object name, because see, I want to access the properties of, let me close this class. Let me paste it here. This one. So for this class, I have created an object of LO functions. So I will write an object is LO functions. If you see, whenever we call this get functions method, it will create this parameter, this object LO functions. Once we get the object, we can access the properties of this class. So within this class, we have method to enable function keys. So set not detail default. So set default is there. So first we'll see this one. Set default, and here just you can uncomment this one. So if you see true is there. So true meaning it will enable. So like it is like activation. False means deactivation. So it is returning the value of true, meaning it is activating the function keys. So let's see, save, check, activate and execute. 2 suppose 10. See here, earlier there are no application toolbar function keys are there. Now right now we can see few function keys. So these are the default function keys, like sort, ascending, descending, filter, layout option. So these are the default one. But if you want to see some other functional function keys, if you see here, in our default function keys, we can see these three along with this last one. But we don't have these options like total, this print preview and exporting. So these options are not available because these are not belongs to default function keys. If user want to see the output only with the default function keys, we can call this method. That's it. But if user want to see all the function keys, like if user want to download it, user can click on this one. So if they want to see this option, so these all we can get with the another method called set all. So here we are calling the method set default, right? So instead of this method, we can call another method. So let me uncomment, and here I will call it. Same process again. So instead of this method, we have to call set all. So this one. So activate all generic ALV functions. Press enter, and you can uncomment this one. Save, activate, and execute. So you can pass an input. See, now along with the default, we have some more options. So depends on the requirement, we can enable these function keys. Okay, so now so we have seen how to use CLSL with table, and in that how to enable these function keys, right? So next, one more thing we'll see. Suppose if user want to see first material column and then sales document. So user want to see a sequence. First material they want to see, and later sales document, later item they want to see. Third position they want to see the sales document. Instead of displaying sales document first, material they want to see in the first position. Sales document they want to see in the third position. So they have given the order, like they want to see the output, like first in the order, first should be material, second should be item, third should be sales document number, and fourth one should be item category. So this is the requirement. Suppose if you read, if you get it from the business, what you have to do, we have to enable few functionalities. Like this is the functionality to enable function keys. Same way, we have column settings also. Whenever you want to change the position of the column, so for that also we have a separate classes. So to access any class properties, this is the main class. So let's see. I'll go to this class CLSLV table. Now columns is there, right? If you see, there is a method get columns is there. So what is this method? It returns only the object. If you see get columns object. So if I double click on this method, there is a parameter which returns the object for this class. If you see CLSLV columns table is there. This is a different class. In our class, this is the main class I told you, CLSLV table. In this class, there is no option to change the position of the column. But we have a method where we can get the object of the class which has the property or which has the method to enable or to change the position of the column. So this is the class. So to go to this class, we can call this method. So this method will return a object. So that object will be access to this class CLSLV columns table. If I double click on that class, see in this we have a method called get column position. So with the help of this method, we can get column position or set column position. Wait, I think this 1 second. Let me check the parameters. Only one is there, so this is not right one. Column position. Get column position parameter in get column position only. So this is a method. So this method is having two parameters. One is column name, the other one is value. So here we can pass the column name and here we can write the position, which position you want to change it, either first position or second position, whatever the position, we can write the position name. So how can we give the position names in the column? With the help of CLSLV columns table. But we don't have direct method to access from this class. So what we have to do, we have to call a method. So that method is get get columns. So with the help of this method, we will get an object to access this class properties, because within this class only we have the method to change the column position. So we'll go to that. I think get column set column position will be there, not get column, because it here we do have one more parameter. Let me check. It should have position here, but here it is returning value. It is not right one. Let me check once again. Set here. This is the right one. Set column position. If I go to the parameter, see here position is there. So here we can pass the column name. Here we can pass the position. So this is the right one. So this is existed in this class CLSALV columns table. So to access the class properties, we need an object. So how we will get an object? By calling this method. So we have to call this method. Where that method is existed? In this class CLSALV table. So from CLSALV table, first we have to call get columns method. Once we call, we will get an object. So once we get an object, we can access the properties of this class. Within this class only, we have a method called set column position. So with the help of set column position method, we can able to change the position of the column. Now let me go to the program. So these all things we have to do before displaying the data. So again, I will call methods. So double click on the Abap object patterns. So first I have to call get columns method. So that is from CLSLV table. So for CLSLV table, I create an object called LOOBJ. Here CLSLV table method name is get column. Get columns you need to find out here. Where is that? It's kind of tricky to find out the name. Get columns. Get columns. Here, get columns. Now we have to pass the parameter. To pass the parameter, double click on the method to define it. So this is type ref2, meaning it is an object. So this is for get columns, right? Here, let me create an object like LO get. Let me let LO get, because it is not actual object to call the columns. LO get C. Okay. Type ref2 class name. Now if we pass this object here, hello get C. So once we pass the object here, whenever we click on execute, it will create an object. So once we create an object, we can access the properties of this class. So within this class only, we have a method. So that method we have to access it. To access the class methods, again we have to go to pattern. With the help of object, we can able to call it. And before you are calling the method, you need to check whether it is a static method or instance method. Okay. Now LO get C is a object for this class. Now from here onwards, I'll choose a method set column position. So this one, set column position. And here we can pass column name. Suppose first column I want to put Matnar, so I will write Matnar field. It must be capital. And uncomment the position, give the position number like 1 2 3, wherever you want to put the position. So it should be 1. And same way, I need to change sales document number, that is VBLN, should be third position. So here I will write VBELN, it should be 3. So earlier, first VBLN is there, third position Matner is there. Now these two I have interchanged it. So let's see the output. Now see, earlier first sales document was there, now it has interchanged. Here material is there, right? And here sales document number is there. And here it is item category. So it is item category. So from one class, we are going to different class. How we are going to other class? By calling the method. With the help of the method, we are getting an object. Like it will create an object. Once object is created, we can access the properties of other class. Here we are not writing any other logic, extra logic. See, we haven't written any extra logic. Just we are calling the method, creating the object. That's it. If you see, calling method, again call method, call method, call method. There is no extra logic because SAP already written. So this is the main advantage here. And also, just wanted to show you another one. One second. So last one option I have to explain, that is, suppose in this output, not this one. Where is that? Let me execute once again. So if you see this last column, it is displaying item cat. If I place the cursor, it is displaying complete name. But user don't want to see this label. Like user want to see the complete text, item category. User don't want to see this short name or medium name. User want to see the long text of this column, like item category. So to achieve this one, let's go back. And if you see, if you want to change the position, uh, generally if we use field cat directly, we can give the position. But if you see here, we haven't used any field cat. So that is the reason we call the method and we change it the position. Same way, uh, if you want to give the long text or short text, in the field cat, we have an option. Like here we can give text medium or text long. But in our program, we haven't used any field cat. Again, to achieve that one, we have to call the method and we can change it. So for that, again, here in CLSLV table, we don't have direct method to change the selection text of a field label. So to get that, first we have to get an object. So using get columns method, we will get an object. So once we get an object, here CLSLV columns table is there. So this class is having mm, one second. Let me search. From this one, get column. So two will be same actually. So this class. Hmm. Okay, here get long text, medium text. So if you see this class, CLSLV column, so this class has a method where it can return the long text, medium text, set not. It should be set not get. Hmm. Set medium text. Okay, this is the right one. So set long text, which can set the column title long. If you want to set medium in the title, you can use this method. So these methods are existed in this class CLSLV column, but we cannot access directly this class methods. So to access this class methods, again we have to class this method. We have to call this method. So this method is get column. So where this get column is existed in CLSLV columns. If you see the title bar, what is the class name? CLSLV columns. So this class is having this method. So whenever we call this method, it will create an object. So with the help of this object, we can access this class properties where we can have long text, medium text methods. So let's take this class. CL SALV column stable. I believe we have used this one. CL SALV column stable, right? Give me a second. I'll go to the program. Let me scroll up. CL SALV column stable. Yes, we already have this class, and for this class we have created already this object. So with the help of this class, we can call get column method. So before displaying the data, it should be change the long title. So let me copy this class name. CL SALV column stable, and the object name is LO get C. Okay. So here I'll get C. Okay, same. Instead of set column position, here we will call get columns. This one, get column. And here column name. So which column you want to change the um, text. So the column name is this last one, PSTYV. So give the column name here, PSTYV, and value. So the value is, suppose I want to give sales item category. You can change whatever you want to display the label. Showing. Let me check what is the value. I think here, oh sorry, here we should not write the value. Here it should be written from this one. It should be written the object. So I have to create an object. Let's scroll up. LO columns. LO columns type. Type ref to CO. So this is a class. Now let me copy this class because I have to call the methods which are inside of this class. So before that, I have to pass the object name here, LO columns. And here I will call the method. Instance is LO columns, which I have created. So class name is this. Method name is, suppose if I want to display long one, I have to choose set long text. So this is the right one. And here we can give the value. Suppose sales item category. So let me check once. So now we can see sales item category is displaying. Earlier it was sales cat was there. Now it is changed as sales item category. So to achieve this one, I have accessed the properties of this class CL SALV columns. So to access this class property, we have to create the object. So where we have passed this object to get columns method. So here. So starting, it would be little confused because we have to get the object from one class, and once we get the object, we have to access other class method. Even if you see, even I have to set all the functions, I did the same. If I want to change the position, I did the same. Even if I want to change the text also, I did the same. So the main class is here CLSLV table. From the class, we are getting the object. Then by using the object, we are accessing either to set the column position or to set the function keys or to change the title or field label. So those all we did from one class, that is CLSLV table. So it is like a tool, ALV tool. From one class, we can access other class properties also by getting an object. So any doubts? Shravani, stop recording the session. So the